James. So, as we know, Letitia James is facing some pretty serious allegations from the Department of Justice when it comes to this recent indictment that came out about her mortgage fraud. And it's being said, not only is she facing issues with mortgage fraud, but she's facing issues with insurance fraud. She's facing issues with potential tax fraud, which would be very bad for her. So shout out to Amy for reporting on this. We're going to get into what Letitia had to say, what's being reported, and what charges she's looking at facing. Amy says over on X, if you don't follow her, make sure y'all do that at IAMYLEIGH at X over on X, or at IAmyLee on X. She says New York Attorney General Letitia James was arraigned at a federal court this morning where she pled not guilty to 2 felony charges of bank fraud and making false statements to a financial institution. So let's actually hear a news update from this, and then we'll get into what Letitia had to say. Check this out. Oh, if it plays, hold on a second. This one might not want to play. And of course, we've got to add in here. Y'all bear with me for a second and I'll get this video up. And also, when it comes to Letitia James, the mortgage fraud issue is something we're going to see continue to push moving forward, because it's alleged that she had multiple other properties involved in this mortgage fraud as well. They weren't mentioned in this indictment, but there could be issues there. Here we go.
News. New York Attorney General Letitia James has pleaded not guilty to mortgage fraud charges. President Trump's handpicked U.S. attorney indicted James earlier this month after he publicly called for James and others to be prosecuted. James successfully brought a civil fraud case against Trump in 2022 and leads multiple lawsuits challenging his administration's policies.
What you think?
Now her trial is set for January 26th. Let's bring back ABC News legal contributor James Sample for more. James, no huge surprise here. She says she's pleading not guilty to both of these charges.
Yeah, Letitia James has obviously been in court as much as any criminal defendant ever could be. She's got experience. She, I'm sure, articulated that with a certain pizzazz to indicate just how she feels about these charges. But she pleaded not guilty. That's not a surprise. They agreed on a trial date for late January. I suspect we're going to see a lot of motion practice between now and then as she tries to get rid of this case entirely.
And talk a little bit more about that. What are you watching for in those motions leading up to the actual trial date?
So, like James Comey, yesterday she filed a motion in court indicating that she intends to seek the dismissal of these charges on multiple grounds, one of which is that she argues that Lindsay Halligan, the newly appointed U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, was unlawfully appointed, and therefore that the indictment, which she's the only one to have signed, presumably, is invalid. She's also...
Man, come on. This is the president of the United States. Let's be real. Just fight it, Letitia. You said you're going to fight it. This is not going to get dismissed because the president appointed an attorney. Stop.
Expected to file motions for vindictive and selective prosecution. And of course, she'll contest the charges on the merits, indicating that as the attorneys in the Eastern District of Virginia before Lindsay Halligan took office indicated that the prosecution lacks merit.
She could speak outside court at any moment if she chooses to when she comes out. What do you expect to hear from her?
I don't know if she'll speak or not, but she certainly has already put out a statement. She gave a fiery set of remarks when the initial indictment came down. She's certainly savvy enough to be able to speak and without causing any trouble. I suspect Abby Lowell, her attorney, trusts her to speak directly. Normally, you wouldn't want a criminal defendant to speak directly. You'd have the attorney speak on their behalf. She may choose to speak directly. I suspect that, like James Comey, she's going to come out firing.
You know, they say doctors make the worst patients. What happens when you're the attorney and the defendant?
The normal course of events, like that doctor statement, is that an individual who represents him or herself has a fool for a client. Letitia James is no fool. Abby Lowell is no fool. They're going to approach this like veterans that they are.
All right, James Sample, always great to have you. Anything else you're watching out for in terms of this case that you feel like us non-legal scholars should know?
I think just the retribution aspect. I mean, you've got the James Comey matter, you've got the John Bolton matter, and you've got the Letitia James matter. They're not all the same, but there is overlap and similarity.
All right, James, thank you.
Thank you.
Very well said by him. And again, we're going to hear from Letitia now. But when it comes to James Comey, when it comes to Mr. Bolton, Bolton is going to be in trouble. We've talked about that and covered it on the channel here. A lot of these indictments coming out, there are factual elements to it. We've even seen and heard from a forensic investigator when it comes to Letitia James. And what he's saying and what he's showing is that she's going to have an uphill battle here. Will it be dismissed? I highly doubt it. Let's see what Letitia has to say. She feels like she's running a victory lap. It's wild.
I want to thank all of you. I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to thank you for your prayers. I want to thank you for your emails. I want to thank you for your support. It has strengthened my spirit and
oh boy.
And it has anchored my soul. And so I want to thank you. But this is not about me. This is about all of us.
Nope. All of us aren't an attorney general who has some criminals who are on the run posted up in our house, aren't paying rent with the house that we fraudulently bought, saying we were going to be using it and we didn't. I don't know. Raise your hand in the comments and in the chat if you've done that. I don't think this is about us, but either way, we'll keep it going.
About a justice system which has been weaponized. A justice system which has been used as a tool of revenge. This justice system which has been used as a tool of revenge. And a weapon.
How is she using it?
Against those individuals who simply did their job and who stood up for the rule of law.
She was standing up for the rule of law when she signed those mortgage documents. Are her relatives standing up for the rule of law by avoiding accountability and being on the run from North Carolina? Man, this lady, come on. No accountability. Y'all, please stop. Stop supporting people who are like this. Come on, man.
And a justice system which unfortunately is nothing being used as a vehicle of retribution. Yes. Yes. But my faith is strong. Yes. And my faith is, I have this belief in the justice system, in the rule of law, and I have a belief in America and all of its individuals who have stood with me, not only in New York, but all across this nation.
This is hard to listen to.
I've heard from just about every jurisdiction in this nation who have said, stand up and be tall. And never, ever cow down or back down or break or bend. So there's no fear today. No fear. No fear. No fear. No fear. Because I believe that justice will rain down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. Oh my gosh,
she preaching now. Jeez.
And I'm here to say that my work and my job and all that I do, all throughout my public career, I've stood up for the rights of New Yorkers and Americans, and I will not be deterred. That's a lie. And I will not be...
Yo, you hear that guy in the background? He said, that's a lie. God's watching you, Letitia. Let me rewind that and see if y'all heard this guy. Listen to it.
Stood up for the rights.
That's hilarious.
Of New Yorkers and Americans, and I will not be deterred. That's a lie. And I will not be deterred. I will not be distracted. I will do my job each and every day, and that's why I'm headed back to New York, because there's work to be done, standing up for the rule of law. God bless you and thank you all, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, all right, there's Letitia James. I don't know, man. Doesn't it start? Don't they say change starts at home? Letitia, who you got held up in your house, lady? You got all this talk, all this to say. Who is in your home? Should you start there? Should the attorney general in New York or in North Carolina come after the people you have in your house? I mean, I don't know. How much do you believe in the law? This is crazy, man. All right, let's get into another article. We're going to get into some more of the details of what Letitia James is looking at facing with her pleading guilty. What a mess, man. Here we go.